Hey guys, here's a quick video on my Ritchey Ultra. I've had it for a couple of months, 3 months, maybe 3 months now. I went with the Ritchey Ultra. I'd been riding a full suspension. It was my first time on a full suspension. I've been riding since about 94 mountain bikes, BMX before that, even raced BMX more recently. Got more into mountain bikes a few years ago, doing a little bit of racing with my son. He races cross country, and I was riding on a full suspension Canyon. Actually, the Canyon Neuron's a 29-inch bike, and it's a good bike. It was fine, but I never could quite get used to that full suspension. So I wanted to go back to hardtail and picked up this Ritchey Ultra, and I actually used most of the parts off of the Canyon to put this bike together. This is a 29-inch wheel bike. A lot of these bikes I see built up with 27.5. I wanted something that leaned a little more cross country, so I went with the 29s. These are 29 3.5 in the rear, and it's a 29 2.4 in the front. Again, these came off that Canyon. I think I'd like to swap that out with something a little lighter, maybe a 2.25 front and back. But again, I swapped everything over from the Canyon. This is the NX drivetrain. It's a GX drivetrain on this bike. It's working out really well. This is a pike shock. This shock was a 140 millimeter pike. I changed the air dampener, not the air dampener, but the debonair spring. The debonair spring in these, I changed that out to the 120, so it matches this frame geometry. This frame was designed around 120 millimeter front travel. The pike is a 35 millimeter stanchion, which is a little chunky for this bike, I think. It rides good, but that's kind of on my wish list, is to go to a something lighter for the front shock, maybe even the SID. Maybe stick with the 35, the SID Ultimate, but something a little lightweight or a little lighter in weight anyway. But the Ritchey's awesome. The Ritchey, the Heritage, I really like, and just have something a little bit different from most of the folks around. Most of the folks around here are going to have the, the big bike names, the Trek, Specialized, those sort of things, and those bikes are fine, but I've always liked to have something a little different. I've actually got 3 of those Canyons, different types of Canyons, but Canyon's fine. It's just the full suspension that I wasn't crazy about. But I've got the dropper post on this bike. I use it often, works well. A few things that I did change out when I was building up the Ritchey. Of course, the Ultra comes with the Ritchey seat post clamp, which is good. I did swap out for the Ritchey handlebars and the Ritchey stem. These Ritchey foam grips. I wanted the Ritchey seat, but they're not in stock from what I found yet, so I'm still running this WTB off the Canyon. Or actually, this is a WTB that I bought and put on the Canyon. But I like the WTB seats, but I think I'm going to try that Ritchey seat just to kind of go with the build. But the 29, this is a medium size frame. Oh, excuse me, no, this is a large size frame. This is a large size frame. I am 6 feet tall. The large is working well for me. Does it say large on there? It's definitely the large size. The Canyon that I was riding was a medium, and I was kind of between the medium and the large. I felt on their bikes, and I went with the medium, which was fine. But again, I wanted to set this one up a little more cross-country-ish. So I went with the large size frame, and I'm glad I did. It fits well. I think this stem that I've got on here is a 70 millimeter, I believe. It's working out well. I believe it's a 70. Does it say? I'm not sure it says. I'm wondering now if it was a 70 or a 90. I'll have to look at my paperwork. But the bike fits well. It's riding good. I did go with the Ritchey SPD style pedals. I like that type of pedal. I've got a bunch of those, and that's what my shoes are. But I did go with the Ritchey pedal when I built this bike up. The bike's great. I enjoy it. The weight on this build right now is at 28, maybe 28 and a quarter pounds, 28 and 6 ounces or something like that. I think some lighter tires, maybe even lighter wheels. These rims, again, what came on the Canyon. The Canyon Neuron's more of a trail. It's kind of a short travel trail bike. These wheels are a 35 millimeter, the DTS 35s. Maybe they're a little wide. Oh, excuse me, it's a 30. It's a 30. And they're fine, but the tires, I feel like I could surely lose some weight with the tires, and maybe the RockShox Sid would lose some weight. I'm not willing to give up my dropper post. I'm going to keep that, but I think maybe doing something with the wheels, the tires, the shock, I could probably get, you know, closer to maybe 26. I've seen some of these builds, people claim about 25 pounds. Maybe, but if I'm at 20, a little more than 28 now, if I can get to 27, that would be a good improvement. The Canyon, even though it's a carbon frame with all that was on it, and of course the rear suspension and all that was on it, it was coming in at about 32 pounds. So even keeping most of the same components, I was still able to drop about 3.5 pounds. So it's good. The bike's riding good. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it on gravel rides. I certainly ride it on single track, and most of that's more of a cross-country style, to be honest. Again, I ride with my son a lot. He races NICA, which is cross-country. But the bike's great on gravel rides. I've got a gravel bike, but since I've gotten this, I prefer to just take this one out if we're doing a dedicated gravel ride with not much asphalt on it. But really enjoying it. I really like the Ritchey. I think this is one that I can hang on to for many years. The heritage of the Ritchey and the steel frame is just a cool thing to have. I don't see this bike going anywhere. I do see some more updates and some changes coming, but I really love the bike. It rides great. If anyone has any questions on any of it, the shock, I changed that myself to make it the 120. That was a pretty easy thing to do. Of course, I YouTubed it, and that worked out great. But if you have any questions about this bike, please do ask. The Ritchey Ultra, the red, white, and blue, I thought that I would have wanted it. That team edition, they were out of stock. I ended up going with this one, and I really don't have any regrets. I thought maybe the black would be a little too, just a little too much black. I kind of like the color, more color on a bike, but I do like this one. I like the blue that's on there. It's a good bike. I'm proud to ride it, proud of that Ritchey heritage. So again, if you have any questions, leave comments below, and I'll try to answer it best I can. Thanks, bye.